Hello, everyone. This is week number 12 of my 52-week LinkedIn live stream challenge. I'm here with two guests for the first time here. I have Olivia Vo and Brandon J. Dixon. So, Olivia, how are you doing today?
Fantastic. It's Friday.
I like the shirt.
Thank you. I got it just for you.
I appreciate it. Brandon, how are you today?
I am doing super amazing. Thank you for the kind question, Mr. Steven.
Yeah, it's great that got both of you guys on. It was supposed to be Olivia only, but we have a mutual connection here. And Brandon, I think you're the one that connected both of us together, so had to bring you on as well.
Thank you.
So Olivia, I'll guess both of you. I'll let you two introduce yourself. Share a little bit about yourself. So Olivia, you want to go first?
Absolutely. So yes, I had to pull in Brandon into this conversation just because, I want to show the chain reaction, right, of how powerful networking is. I mean, I first met Brandon last year through a random networking event that we were doing in Australia. We weren't physically in Australia, but we were in the same room with the other Australians. That was crazy. It was like 4 a.m. or something. And then it was so nice to meet like someone from the States in that group. And then Brandon, you and I connected offline and we hit it off. And you pulled me into your cultural meetups. And then that's where I met you, Steven. And we hit it off as well. And so you've done, some collaborations with me, which I love. And so this is really just truly awesome because now I have friends in Long Island, Connecticut, since you've moved, Brandon, and then friends in San Francisco. So, and here I am in Jacksonville. Who would have thought like all three of us could be together on the same screen?
Hey, that's the beauty about live. We can be anywhere and we can all be sitting in the same virtual room.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon, do you want to share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So Olivia, first and foremost, and I actually did meet on an Australian meetup. I don't know what sort of event it was, but it was really, really cool. But with that being said, I work for a company called the Junk Luggers. We are a eco-friendly junk and furniture removal company, and we have over 60 locations around the country. So I'm in charge of their business development.
Very cool. Yeah, you just started that job recently, right?
Yes. I started it back in September, and I've been really enjoying it ever since. So I'm super happy to be there.
Very cool. And then Olivia, you want to share a little bit about what you do?
Yes, so I'm a technical recruiter right now for a New York City firm, and we specialize in IT consulting. And so I've been a recruiter now for the past 10 years on the agency side, and I still love what I do to this day, believe it or not, just because I love that moment of connecting someone to their like ideal job or walking them through the application process and then them landing, the project or assignment. So I always there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, but just that moment when, yes, they've got the job and they start their first day, it always makes me feel like, the same euphoria all over again.
Yeah, that's I can imagine that's an excellent feeling there. Before we get into our topic of networking on LinkedIn as well as recruiting secrets, I like to start all my LinkedIn lives with an icebreaker called Two Truths and a Lie. Since we have two guests on, I'll let both of you guys have the opportunity to share what your two truths and a lie are. So who wants to go first?
I suppose I'll go first then. Why not? All right, so 2 truths and 1 lie. So I went skydiving. I traveled to over 32 states. And number 3, I am 6'3".
Okay, so if you're watching, put in the comments which one do you think is a lie from Brandon here. I'll share my guess. Olivia, you can share your guess. What are you thinking right now, Olivia?
I'm thinking number 1. I went skydiving. That's his lie.
Yeah, I feel like number 2, because I've done this every single week. I think I'm getting a little better at picking out the lies. I think number 2 is so specific that it's true. So I think that's fair. Number 3, it's hard to say. I don't know. It's this is my first time seeing, or I guess we've never seen Brandon in person. We just see him on video, so we only see the top half here. But yeah, I don't think it'll surprise me if Brandon's 6'3", unless he's going to say he's 5'3", and then that will totally shock me as well. So I think I'm going to go with your guess as well, Olivia, number 1. So yeah, if you're watching, put in the comments which one do you think is a lie. We'll give people 10 to 20 seconds here.
Yes, let's see if I can fool everyone here. I think that I can.
Come to think of it, are there any pictures of you on LinkedIn, like full? So we don't know your height because we've only seen you from.
There might be a few, but now it's certainly less than 20 seconds to find out, Olivia. Yes.
Brandon, can you like raise your arms for a sec? Just want to see how long your arms are.
Yeah, what is your wingspan?
Sure. We'll see.
Oh, you have pretty long arms. So it might be you might be 6'3". So
You're doing your due diligence here, Steven.
yeah, no, got to do my research here. So all right, so Olivia thinks it's number one. I think it's number one. Brandon, are you ready to share which one's your lie?
Yes, I shall divulge the information. So number one is indeed the lie. I've never went skydiving, though I really want to. I think it would be a lot of fun. So that's the lie, unfortunately.
Yeah, skydiving is on my bucket list as well. We'll see when that happens. But man, you are 6'3". So if we ever get to meet in person, I know I'll be looking up to you.
That'll be hilarious. Awesome, Steven.
I will probably come up to your armpit because I'm pretty petite.
That's so funny.
So Brandon, out of those 32 states you visited or you traveled to, which one was the most memorable for you?
So it's kind of split, right? So it's between Colorado and California. Yes, I have been to San Francisco specifically, which is where you are from, Steven, and I thought it was an amazing place. But then I also love Colorado a lot. I love to ski, and I also just think that it's a very scenic place with a lot of great people. So I would say it's split between California and Colorado.
Yeah, I can second you on Colorado. I visited Denver quite a few times because we have a big office there. The scenery, the views are just absolutely gorgeous. Haven't been skiing out there. I know they have really good ski resorts, but hey, there's a lot of California you haven't seen. So we get snow, we get desert, we get beach, we got all that as well. So
yes,
yeah, thanks for sharing, Brandon. Olivia, do you want to share your two truths and a lie?
Absolutely. All right. So, firstly, I am a Fulbright scholar, and I am a part-time Zumba instructor, and I was a door-to-door sales rep.
Okay, so yeah, if you're watching, which one do you think is the lie? Brandon, do you have any initial guesses here?
So a question first. What is a Fulbright scholar?
It's a research fellowship that gets awarded to college graduates and also students who are doing research for their master's or PhDs.
Gotcha.
Well, sounds like a legitimate answer there. So I think that one's true.
Yeah, I think number one is true. Number three, you have a very great personality, so I think that three would also be true. I would also believe two, but number one and number three are just so compelling that I think number two would have to be the lie.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you there, Brandon. If you're watching, guess which one is the lie here for Olivia. Number one, she's a Fulbright scholar. Number two, she's a part-time Zumba instructor. And number three, she's a door-to-door sales rep. So
nice.
Yeah, give it a few more seconds for people to guess here. I'm leaning towards number two as well. Got the same thought process as Brandon. All right, Olivia, which one is your lie?
Number two.
Yes. 2 for 2 today. That's a good day for me.
Great job, guys. That was really good process of elimination.
Just a quick question. So who were you a sales rep for when you went door to door?
Oh my gosh. I sold office supplies for this offshoot office supply company called Quill.
Really?
And they were like a subsidiary Staples, but not really. And they wanted to, gather small to medium-sized business owners to order office supplies from them. And it's actually really funny because they would have a whole product line like called Dunlop Mifflin. So that was like our gimmick to get people in. That, the Dunlop Mifflin company does exist. And we would have these paper boxes and all this like cool office paraphernalia branded with Dunlop Mifflin. And you can only get it from quill.com.
Wow.
Very cool. Yeah, that's why I like doing these two truths and a lie. You learn a lot about someone, and just you share something like that. So very cool. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Olivia,
Thank you.
for sharing that. So yeah, let's just go into our topic. We'll spend maybe 10 minutes talking about networking, and then we'll spend about 10 more minutes talking about recruiting secrets here. So I guess first of all, let's talk about why is networking so important. So Brandon, Olivia, feel free to chime in here.
Yeah, networking is super important. They say that your network is your net worth. You know what I mean? So I think the more people you know, the more opportunities will present itself. The more people who know your name and what you do could really advocate for you. Your name comes up in far more conversations between people, and it'll just be a greater inclination for you to get introductions and referrals and things like that. So yeah, those are just some of the reasons that I think it's so important to be out there and to network, really.
And I just love the reciprocal nature of networking, right? That it's a two-way street, and you really need people in your corner, and that will keep you top of mind to link you with people or opportunities or just connections that will improve your life, personally and professionally. And so, no, between Brandon and I and you too, Stephen, I mean, we're constantly kicking the networking ball around, I feel. I'm making referrals, introductions to your LinkedIn Live, as potential guests. I've gotten Brandon on a couple of shows, advocating for junk luggers, advocating for his, charity fundraising that you do a lot of.
Yeah.
And then likewise, Brandon's giving me referrals of people that he think could benefit from, my services, either as a recruiter looking at resume editing or LinkedIn, like learning how to leverage LinkedIn. So I think networking is important all the time, and it can happen anywhere, right? It doesn't have to be just in your Zoom room or on LinkedIn. I mean, you can be networking anywhere, anytime of the day. It's just about putting yourself out there, being curious about people, and just listening to them, what's going on with them, and then how you may be of help, how you may be of service.
Yeah, definitely agree with both of you there. It's it's with networking, Olivia, you said it perfectly. Listen, right? Don't be the loudest person in the room. You're there to meet other people. Other people are there to meet you as well. And I really like what Brandon did before. You hosted all those networking events. You called them cultural meetups, and you had a different person every month or every week or so share something about a specific country, about their heritage. And everyone who attends, we spend the first few minutes introducing each other, sharing who we do, showing what we do and who we are. And then we get to learn about a specific culture. So, I tend to maybe 2 or 3. I should have attended a lot more, but that's how Olivia and I and all 3 of us connected. So, I just want to say thank you for hosting those events. Those were really, really informative.
Yeah, no, Stephen, I really, really appreciate that kind compliment. And just to sort of go back on that for the people who are, watching here, I hosted something called the Culture Meetup, where I would have different people do a presentation on their cultural heritage. So Olivia actually did one on Vietnam, and it was a great presentation. And she actually introduced me to somebody from the Philippines, and she did a presentation as well. And I had a laundry list of people do a bunch of presentations about their cultural background, and then I had it as open breakout rooms after, and then round the room introduction. So there were a lot of people connecting and things like that. So I brought them together with the basis of education through learning about other people's heritage and things like that. And that really made a solid connection, because they weren't talking about what they do. It's just, it's like, who are you as a person? And it really made some good connections there.
Yeah, and I remember Olivia's. Oh, go ahead, Olivia.
I was saying, especially in a time like pandemic when we couldn't travel, I mean, I love like kind of Brandon's slant towards networking and calling it a culture meetup, because it gave us kind of like this.
Hey, Olivia, you froze on us a little bit there. You mind repeating what you just said?
Oh. um, okay. So I said during the pandemic when we couldn't travel, this was a great way to kind of get that sense of that we transport ourselves through the cultural presentation to learn about foods and traditions, etc. So I love Brandon's like slant on networking where we could have like a learning component to as well.
Yeah, thanks, Olivia.
Yeah, I remember I attended your presentation, Olivia, about Vietnam, and then I learned a lot about the history, the deep history in Vietnam, the three major regions, and each region has different food, different dialects of language as well. So that was really interesting to learn. So yeah, thanks Brandon for hosting that event and just bringing us all together here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the next thing I want to talk about networking is LinkedIn. Or I guess we said earlier, you can network anytime, right? You can network 24/7, and the best opportunity to do that is on LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is it's on 24/7. You can choose when you want to be on. You can choose who you can connect with. You can choose who you can talk with. So just wanted to hear your guys' best tips on how do you network on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so that's a really, really great question. Normally, I would look up people within a certain industry, that would be sort of in my target market. So realtors are a huge target market for me specifically, right? So I would look them up, and then I would reach out, hopefully to set up a conversation. And then once we have a conversation, or actually prior to that conversation, initially, I would look at their LinkedIn profile, would do my research on who I'm speaking to, so I could really get to know who they are. Then once we hop on that call, I could speak about their interest, about their past, and they really, really enjoy that. And then the other thing I always ask is who they're like who they would like to meet ideally as a customer or a referral partner. And then if I have those people that I have in my so if they're trying to meet a specific type of person, I would look to make those introductions for them so I can continue to be top of mind. And it's just having that mentality to bring a whole bunch of value, so I think that's really, really crucial for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you there, right? Your network can become someone's network as well. So a lot of people reach out to me for career coaching or different types of advice there. And, I can't help with everything. My specialty might not fit what you're looking for, but I will make the effort to refer you to someone that I think that can be more supportive and help you even more there. So, before you share, I just want to highlight the comment here. Odalis, it was a pleasure meeting you through Brandon's Cultural Meetup as well. And Odalis is in the let me try to remember. She was in the life insurance industry.
Yes.
So
yes.
If you
Good memory.
Stay on the top of your mind, because we constantly show up in Brandon's cultural meetup. So you start identifying people with different the different skill sets and different backgrounds. So if I need help with life insurance, I'll go reach out to her, right? Because she's top of mind there. So I just want to highlight that comment there.
Hey, Dallas.
Olivia, anything you want to add on how to network on LinkedIn?
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback off of something that happened just now, right? So on Dallas, right, we keep her top of mind because she shows up consistently. We see her all the time. We get to know her story and her background, etc. So I would say, there are so many different online networking groups out there that you can get really pulled in and distracted, right? So I would just say choose the 2 or 3 that you can be consistent with and stick with them. So that way you can build that relationship, even though you're meeting once a week or once a month, but you're going to jive with that group and have them get to know you. So don't spread yourself too thin and join so many groups that you can't keep up, right? Just choose your 2 or 3 like home communities, places where that you feel that you can get the most benefit and belong. And just to talk about networking, I love what Brandon does. I mean, he has his own CRM of people that he downloads into. So I think that's brilliant because one thing that we forget is that, we're on social media. We should really also build your own database, right, of contacts, valuable contacts, your own personal Rolodex, if that's such a word anymore these days.
Yeah.
But you should have personal internet Rolodex. Don't just rely on LinkedIn to keep the information for you, right? Have a system, Excel sheet, whatever it is, so that we kind of keep track of your notes and where you've met them, who can be a good referral partner for them, how can you help them, etc. And I love what you do, Stephen. I mean, even with a full-time job, and you're so dedicated as a project manager at Lockheed Martin, but you're still providing like these resources, right, for people anywhere that need help with resume editing or need help with job searching, etc. So I love what you do, which is providing the resources, information, and sharing how you've been successful in your career with other people. So with my networking, I feel that again, I love what Brandon does. That look them up on LinkedIn. You can search someone's activity, right? You can see what kind they're into, what have they posted, what have they commented on. And if they posted something, this is my favorite networking tip. So if I see someone I want to get to know, I'll check their activity and maybe check a post of theirs that was like 1 or 2 months ago. And I'll like it, I'll give a reaction button, or I'll make a comment. And suddenly, like, that person gets a notification that you looked at them. And suddenly you're top of mind for them, like you're on their radar. And then that post that they wrote like a month ago is now like getting back to life, it goes back in the news feeds again because you made that comment. And I think that people really appreciate that because, again, like their post is getting back into the news feeds because there's only so much that, gets filtered throughout your news feeds throughout the day, throughout the week. And so, something from a month ago is now showing up again.
Yeah, that's an excellent tip, Olivia. I was going to say something like that as well. A great way to build relationships on LinkedIn is just to go to someone's profile and then click on their recent post and just start liking and commenting on the more recent ones. I like what you did about bringing one back from a month ago because they get spammed by the ones that are more recent, and then you bring up back one day. So just by consistently showing up with the comments, and I create content. Olivia, you create content that I think all three of us do. I notice who shows up a lot in the comments, and if you send me a message, you want to take a conversation offline, I'm definitely open for it because you've been engaging with me on the content. And then the second point I want to make, you're talking about the CRM, having that Rolodex. What I do is I take a lot of notes whenever I talk to people, when I network, in Brandon's events or other events I go to. And then what I do is I put it into Excel because I'm very basic like that, nothing fancy. I put in Excel and I say, oh, I talked to this person on this date, and little like maybe it's like 3 lines of like, oh, this is who they are, this is what we talked about, and then I add another column saying, the date I met them plus 30 days. So then I can go back to that Excel spreadsheet, filter by that column. Oh, then we go send a message to them. Hey, how have you been? Last time we talked, you were looking for jobs. Any luck on the job search? Or last time we talked, you were studying for a test. How did that test go? So that keeps you on top of mind as well as you constantly build that relationship with someone. Just remember the past conversation you had, bring that up, and they're like, oh, yeah, this person remembered about me. And, to be honest there, I just took notes. So I can always refer to it and then pull up something that we discussed in the past.
That's fantastic. That's a brilliant idea, that fortune's in the follow-up, right? And choose a variety of different messages, right? You don't always have to send text messages, right? I mean, there's like LinkedIn offers so many ways now. You can do memes, you can do those funny GIF images, in someone's message box. You can send them a video message. I find that to be really helpful too. Just give a friendly video greeting right there on your phone. And it doesn't take much to do. And, just have a variety of different messages, different ways to connect with people. Because you'll definitely stand out and be more memorable just by doing the video message.
Yeah, I've received quite a few voice messages and video messages, and they go a long way, right? Because you share a little more of your personality as part of that. And say, oh, hey, thank you for taking the time to record a message and send it to me. And then you actually get to hear their voice, get to see who they are. So definitely a great tip there. I just want to say, shout out, Kevin. I was on your live stream 2 weeks in a row at the beginning of the month. So I just want to give you a shout out. Thanks for joining us here. So yeah, I guess since we talked about networking, and Olivia, you are a recruiter. How do we reach out to recruiters just like you? What's the best way for people to connect with recruiters?
So I think recruiters are so generalized. So it's really important to know what type of recruiter you're building relationship with, right? And so I start off by saying I'm an agency recruiter. So I work on behalf of clients. Like, clients are coming to us with a very specific project in mind, and they've got a very specific set of skills or profile that they're looking for. And so that's when I go to work, because I'm constantly matching consultants to that particular project. now you'll have corporate recruiters who work for like maybe Netflix or Amazon, right? And you want to get your foot in the door. So you have to know that they work specifically for the company. They're part of an HR team or talent acquisition team. So they're going to, be up to date on all the policies and et cetera, hiring practices and the roles available at their particular companies. And they're recruiting specifically, right, for that Amazon and Netflix company. And so I like the work that I do because it's just a wide variety. I'm always thrown into different client scenarios and working with lots of variety of different projects. And it's very fast paced that way. And so, just know, okay, which type of recruiter you're talking to. And then there's another recruiter where, you may just be looking for a staffing position. And so there's staffing companies available that will just, look at your resume and match you to jobs, right? So there's that type of recruiter as well, too. So I'm open. I mean, my market is usually New York, New Jersey is my demographic. And we primarily work with utilities companies. And I'm looking mostly for IT developers, project managers, solutions architects, etc. And so if you are in the New York market and you've got those skill sets I'm looking for, we post our jobs on the LinkedIn. My company name is Donnelly Moore. So we do post our jobs on the company page. And so if you're in that market, then reach out to me. But I'm always happy also to look at your resume if you need like a fresh set of eyes, if there's something that you can improve with your resume, etc. I'm always happy to be reached out to for that reason. And if you need help with LinkedIn, right? So there's a lot on LinkedIn that you can leverage to boost your job search efforts. So I'm always helpful. I'm always available to for that too. And I do have a calendar link that's on my LinkedIn. So if you ever want to book a time, for a 15-minute discussion, that's available too.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Olivia. If you have any questions about networking, about how to reach out to recruiters, drop them in the comments here. I guess a question that a lot of people ask me is like, how do you stand out to a recruiter? I assume recruiters, you just get spammed by messages. So how do you make sure your message gets heard, and how do you make sure you get a good response from the recruiters? What's kind of the best tips from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, we do get a lot of messages. So one way to stand out is to be persistent, right? If I keep seeing your same name, like calling me and messaging me, don't be annoying about it. But, if you're persistent, like, it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I want to talk to this person because that's a soft quality, right? Your persistent nature. I mean, that's a quality that we're looking for. We're looking for someone that's ambitious, right? So those are things that aren't stated in a resume, but how you demonstrate that, how you go about it. Will speak volumes. So if I see someone like, sending me a text message, send me a LinkedIn request and say, hey, I applied for the job on LinkedIn. Can you check it? Can you let me know where I stand, etc. I'll pay attention to those messages. A lot of times, when I post the jobs on my LinkedIn company page, I'll attach my picture and profile. So, right, that I'm there and you can talk to me directly because there's my picture, there's my bio immediately available to you, so you can send me a connection request. Like, don't just send the email, submit your resume, but send a connection request and say, hey, like, let me know to look for your resume. That's helped a lot because I have to be able to prioritize and filter out people all the time. So if you're really interested in this job, show me that you're interested.
Yeah, I think that's key. I think a lot of people either are too scared to be persistent because they feel like they're bothering you. But then on the other side of the spectrum, there are people that just keep spamming you, and it's like it doesn't provide any value because it's like, hey, hi, where is this? It's like, for you, you're talking to so many different clients, so many different people. It's hard to remember what someone is looking for or who they are. And I think the more specific you are, and the more you build that relationship, it makes it a lot easier for the recruiter to remember who you are, remember what you're looking for, and they're more likely to help you.
And be prepared with a case, right? Because, if you're applying for a job and you really want this job, you have to be prepared with a case of why you're fit, right? Because if it's not like clear cut for me, I'm looking for XYZ skill and you only have one of them, like, you're gonna have to build a case for why you're missing the other two. Because I'm going to ask you like, oh, like my manager is looking for this other skill set, the certification. Do you have it? No. Okay, why not? Like, are you studying for it? Are you getting it? Are you going to get the certification as soon? So build a case. Like, if you're going to reach out to me, you're persistent, like, be ready, and be efficient too.
Definitely. Brandon, were you going to say something?
Yeah. So I was planning to ask the same question that you were asking, Stephen, but I did have another question. Olivia, you've obviously given me a tremendous amount of value within LinkedIn. But what are, I would say, 2 to 3 tips that you would give to the average person that wants to make their profile really stand out from everyone else and perhaps, get noticed by a recruiter or, their dream job to be hired for? Like, what are a few, things that they could do within their LinkedIn wheelhouse, so to speak?
No, I love it. I love this question. And, I just can't help but like comment on people's LinkedIn profiles. Like, oh, there's so much potential here that you can do. So the first thing is your headline, right? So tell me in your headline, like, what is your specialty? Are you a Tableau developer? Why do you love Tableau? And what are you looking for your next Tableau position, right? Things like that. And especially if you're a Tableau developer, you will have like portfolio work. So show me your portfolio under featured. So people underutilize the featured section of the LinkedIn, and it drives me nuts because it's like a place for you to boast about yourself, and not enough people do it because again, they're shy. Even though they want to be modest. They were taught up to be modest, but your LinkedIn profile is meant to showcase who you are and to stand out. So you've got certifications, licenses, awards, accolades, put them in a slideshow through the featured section of your LinkedIn. And that's going to really help you to stand out because nowadays, recruiters and hiring managers, they're going to pull up your resume and they're going to pull up the LinkedIn profile and they're going to compare them side by side. And there's only so much you can say on a resume. So you really want to have that LinkedIn profile as an extension of the resume and put in those portfolio links. Maybe create a beautiful presentation with your graphics, etc. Put that in there because the featured section of LinkedIn is where you can really showcase multimedia content. So you want to have a variety of graphics, pictures, videos. Even a video introduction would be so amazing. And not enough people are doing it.
Yeah, I think those are really, really excellent tips. Brandon, you stole the next topic I was going to talk about, but it's a fair trade here. I was just going to add, for the headline, I think this is the biggest mistake people make on their LinkedIn profile. In your headline, you got to put in what you want to get searched for. So if you are a student, don't say mechanical engineering student at whatever school. Say mechanical engineer passionate in mechatronics, robotics, whatever you are, because those are terms that recruiters look up. I'm looking for a mechanical engineer. I'm looking for someone in mechatronics or robotics. Put that in your headline. That's what you get searched for. So you don't necessarily have to put what your current position is, right? But you just put in, what you want to get searched for. And then the feature section is I think it's just a great way for you to showcase your work, right? You can put your portfolio. I really like the idea of having that introductory video. I probably should do that, especially with all the videos I make. Just to say hi to people and introduce yourself when you go on your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, and just I always say this, like your LinkedIn profile is static, right? It's just like this one site where there's a lot of pictures and text, and then finally you get to featured, and when you can include a video, it's like makes your profile come alive, right? Now they get to see you, hear you, and feel that connection with you through video. It can be very powerful to take your profile from static to now a very dynamic element.
Brandon, anything you want to add for kind of your best tricks or best tips on LinkedIn?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of your profile in general, I think it's really important that you should have a banner photo. I think it's just another extension of your personality. And then number 2, I don't think it's called the About section, but it's right adjacent to your name. Don't put what you do. I wouldn't put your job title, but I would put, exactly how you help people, So the example that I always use is don't put that you're a realtor with XYZ Realty, put I help people buy condos and co-ops in this specific geographic region. You know what? Like, be extremely specific with that, and you'll inform everyone exactly what you do and how you can help them. So super important.
Yeah, just going back to your point, Stephen, earlier about the search terms, right? People forget that LinkedIn is a search engine. So the more keywords and rich your profile is, robust with descriptions, it makes it more searchable because again, it's a search engine. It relies on search engine optimization. So yeah, I'm constantly making up like Boolean search strings and all these like search filters as I'm recruiting my day to day, finding niche talent.
Yeah, I really like Brandon what you said there. Put your mission statement in your headline. Like, how do you help others? Mine says helping others achieve success in their careers, and it just gets straight to the point. It's like, hey, what do you want people to do after they check out your LinkedIn profile, right? How can you help people? And I think putting something like that, it just makes it memorable, as well as it just makes you stand out as well.
And you have 220 characters, right? I mean, there's a lot there that you can be creative and imaginative with, and it doesn't have to stick with you. I mean, you can play around with this until you get your messaging right? And so play around with a couple of different titles, different phrases, different slogans if you have them. And the first 60 characters, though, is what counts, right? Because that gets shown as a preview anytime you're doing anything on LinkedIn. You're posting, commenting, engaging. So that kind of gives people that snippet, that first 60 character preview. So pay attention to those beginning words. And I would also want to say, throw in something there that's like a little nugget, kind of to humanize you a little bit too. So if you've got like a special hobby, or you're really into pit bulls, whatever it is, throw that in there. It could be a very good icebreaker. If someone's trying to make a connection with you and create a conversation. I was looking at someone's profile the other day, and he had all these credentials in him. He's a subject matter expert, TEDx speaker, and then all of a sudden it's like a little bullet point that said acapella singer, and it was just like, it made me like really curious to meet with him and say, hey, like, how long you been an acapella singer? Who do you sing with? How long, and do you have music, a collection, or are you on SoundCloud? So it just opened up all these questions I had when I could meet with him.
Yeah, I connected with someone maybe within the last couple of weeks. His headline said chief dishwasher officer. And I just had a comment. I said, hey, like, who gave you that title? He said, oh, my wife. So he's like, that's all the chores she allows me to do around the house. So yeah, whatever you can do to make yourself memorable. The cover photo that Brandon mentioned, that's absolute must. I highly recommend using Canva. You can just find a bunch of templates, find what you like, edit it, and it just boom, shows who you are, shows some of your personality. And just summarize what we just said. Your headline, that's key. You got 220 characters to showcase who you are. Be creative with it. Share your mission statement. Share how you can help others, and put something memorable in there so people remember who you are. So yeah. Just want to say thank you, Brandon, Olivia, for joining my live stream here. I want to put your LinkedIn profiles right there. So if you're watching, make sure you connect with Brandon. Make sure you connect with Olivia. And just want to give the final few minutes here. Brandon, Olivia, is there anything upcoming for you want to share? Anything you want to plug?
Well, I am fundraising for an organization called the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We have 2 social media pages on Instagram and on Facebook. So if you'd like to learn more, just reach out to me. Would really, really appreciate that. And if you want to learn more about LinkedIn, I will point you to Olivia. So
oh, wrong way. This way.
Yeah, right. This way.
Thank you guys so much. Oh, I did want to have one last recruiting secret. So if you're a job seeker, really search a hashtag. So if you're looking for a project manager job, for example, look up hashtag project manager jobs. Because often now we're posting jobs using different hashtags. Maybe we're looking for like an SAP enterprise architect. So you'd be surprised if you look for that hashtag, what jobs may be popping up, for your industry or your skill set. Okay, so that's my last tip for you. And I love video so much. I think you've heard me say it enough times here. And if you are just shy about getting on video and, need a supportive community, I am launching a brand new club called Video Socials, where it's a Video Socials group is something I'm partnering up with, and they have multiple time slots throughout the week, throughout the day that you can join a club and practice actually video making. And we call it video blogging, together, fun and done. And we didn't have like a Thursday night time slot. So I am, I am going to start that up and be the host of that. It will be Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we're doing our first club launch on April 1st. And so what I'll do is I'll share the link to that so you guys can register in the replay of this event and put in the comments. But yeah, Video Socials, Thursday, April 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern time. This is where you'll get together with some other professionals and create your first video.
Yeah, I really like that sense of community, right? You can hold each other accountable. You can encourage each other with that. So thanks for sharing that, Olivia. And then Brandon's fundraising for the Leukemia Society there. So make sure you reach out to him, and then make sure we support him there as well. So yeah, thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Olivia, for joining my live stream. First time having two guests on. So I'm honored to have both of you guys here. So
Thank you.
yeah, and then to those who are watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting, and I'll talk to you guys all next week. My live stream next week will be 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central European time, because my guest, she is in Luxembourg, and we'll be talking about creating videos. Perfect what Olivia said. We'll be talking about creating videos as well as learning languages, because we both speak multiple languages there. So that'll be a fun topic for next week. So yeah, thank you again, Brandon. Thank you again, Olivia. Thank you to all who are watching. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and talk to you all next week. Have a good one.
Awesome. Thank you very much.